All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another full day of streaming. How's everyone doing today? Today is Saturday, the 10th of October, 2020. I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you to my first of two gameplay streams for the day. What an eventful day we have today, my friends. Good stuff all around. We're continuing on with the Crash Bandicoot 4 playthrough, which I really enjoyed playing all last weekend, until we ran into a pain-in-the-ass false DMCA takedown on Monday, which completely screwed over the playthrough, because I was playing it, non-stop, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and probably would have had really good progress. But sadly, because of the stupidity of Twitch's insanely dumb automated takedown system, the stream got taken down on Monday. So I only got to play about 45 minutes of it. I got through the Dr. Neo Cortex boss fight, which I beat without even using the slowing of time mechanic. I wanted to challenge myself. And then I headed into the first stage of what I believe is World 7. And I was doing good at it. In fact, I got to the bonus stage, and I was doing it over and over, dying 5 zillion times, as usual, trying to finish the bonus stage. And I actually did. I completed the bonus stage, and then I looked at my stream, and the stream had been taken down. And I'm like, what the frick? So, of course, I looked into it. It was all bullshit. It was another false DMCA takedown. And Twitch, in all of its wisdom, as stupid as this sounds, took down my stream for the wrong game, too. They took it down saying that I was playing the Crash Bandicoot beta, which doesn't even exist anymore. You can't even play the beta anymore. So, it's obvious their system is so broken, they don't even review anything at all. Okay, they're just fucking stupid idiots. So, anyway, after getting that cleared up, which took 3 hours, I've been streaming all week, no problem. But, sadly, we know that this could happen, so maybe someone will try to take down the stream again today. I don't know. So, just so you guys know, if this shit happens, alright, if it does get taken down again, we're going to do exactly the same thing I do every time. I'm going to tweet about it at They Call Me DSP, so you know what's going on. I'm going to immediately issue the counter notification to Twitch's DMCA department. It's going to take them however long to process and fix the issue. But during that time, I will go over to YouTube, DSPGaming, my YouTube channel, and I will stream there, and we'll just shoot the shit. We'll talk, we'll hang out, we'll do whatever to kill time until they decide to basically clean their erroneous shit up. Okay? I hope it doesn't happen. I'm really hoping it doesn't happen today. I really enjoy Crash 4. I want to keep playing it. We're near the end. We're at World 7 of 10. So we got 4 more worlds to go to beat it. I'm estimating 2 to 3 more streams, depending on how many deaths, I get. I'm guessing probably about another 150 deaths today, judging on how how well I've been doing in the game so far up to this point. Okay? So we'll see what happens today, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't even know what's going to be, in World 7. World 7 it's prehistoric, meaning you've gone all the way back in time to prehistoric times. Does this mean there'll be dinosaurs and stuff in it? Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see, but, I didn't get far enough into the game, into the world to really know because of the false takedowns, okay? Now, people have already asked, what happened to the footage from Monday? There is almost none. The footage from Monday is just the boss fight against Neo Cortex, and then, 20 minutes of the first world, and then I had to stop playing. And the one thing that really sucks is that because this is a platformer, when you turn off the game in the middle of a stage, it doesn't save your progress. It said right there when I was turning it off, if you turn it off now, you're going to have to start the whole world over. So I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to start the whole thing over, which sucks. But it is what it is, I guess. So hopefully it goes well today. I don't know. I haven't played all week now. So now maybe I'll be a little rusty today. I don't know. But should be fun. I'm excited. I hope you guys are ready for more Crash 4. It's funny because you guys have been asking for this all week. And now finally we're getting to it. Okay? Very good. Tonight, on the late stream, ladies and gentlemen, this is a momentous occasion. I hope you guys, if you can, will be here later tonight. Alright? After 5 months, it's finally the conclusion of Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's right, if you can believe it. That is a playthrough I started in May. So May, June, July, August, September, October. Not really 6 months because it's actually May to June, June to July, July to August, August, September, September to October. So it's been 5 months that I've been playing the game. We are definitely beating it tonight. We're in the final chapter. We're in the lead up to the combat, and then the final cutscenes is the end of the game. So we're finally going to see how it ends. And that also means, see, it's funny, because there's people excited for two different reasons. The people who actually like the game are excited to see me finish it and to see my reaction to the ending. Okay? I don't even know what that final combat stage is going to be, because we've beaten everything in the game. We beat the Empire, and we beat those who slither in the dark. So we've beaten everything, so what the hell could the final stage possibly be? I have no idea, and I'm excited to see what it's going to be tonight. But the other half of this is that there's a lot of people who don't like long, lengthy JRPGs. They like seeing me play more action-based games, and they've been waiting fervently for me to beat this game so that I would stop playing it and do other stuff. This is perfect timing, because right now we are in the midst of the very busy fall gaming season. Starting next week, we're going to have pretty much non-stop new releases. Every week there's going to be things. Just think about this. Ghost of Tsushima's expansion. The expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Watch Dogs. Legion. Amnesia Rebirth. Little Hope from the Dark Pictures Anthology. Then we move into November with all the major releases of November, including Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Yakuza 7, Cyberpunk, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, all the launch titles for PS5, including Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy, Astro, whatever the fuck it's called, Astro Zone or whatever, Bug Snacks, right? And then in December, even in December this year, we've got 2 or 3 big releases. So with all that going on, people are like, finish up the old playthroughs, you know, finish these up so we can focus solely on the new release content. And frankly, you guys are right with that request. I know it'll happen if we have these lingering playthroughs that I'm trying to squeeze in at night when I'm still doing these major releases. We'll never get through the major releases. What's going to end up happening is there will be no late night chill streams. Every stream is going to be a new release. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to finally be beating Fire Emblem. I know people will be there for multiple different reasons. Some people will be there just to troll and shit on it. Some people will actually be there to legitimately see the end. But no matter what reason you're there, I hope you will join me later tonight. The late night conclusion stream of Fire Emblem. Okay? Tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to be checking out the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War beta, which released yesterday, and it's going all weekend long. I played the alpha and actually liked it, so I'm hoping that I'll like the beta as well. There's supposed to be new maps and things in the beta than there were from the alpha. Okay? Hello, Nocturnal Dark. How are you today? He said hello, Phil, so I wanted to be nice. How you doing? Tomorrow night, Sunday night, I'm actually returning to Animal Crossing for the first time in months. Alright, there's been nothing going on in Animal Crossing since the summer. The last thing I actually cared about in Animal Crossing, they were doing this fireworks display every week in August. So we did that. But I haven't played it since then. Now my wife has started playing it again and says that there is some new stuff in there, including pumpkins, candy, and things leading into the fall season and into Halloween. There is going to be a big Halloween event in the game, supposedly. So I said, why not do a stream of Animal Crossing tonight? Let's see what's actually new in the game. All right, let's give it a test here. Give it get a taste for it, and go from there. All right, let's see how things are going, and go from there, and play it by ear. All right, so if we like it, we play tonight, and we have tomorrow. If we play it tomorrow and we have a good, relaxing, chill, interactive stream, maybe Animal Crossing will go back into the regular rotation. Or maybe we'll play it and it won't be so good. It'll be boring. And we're like, okay, well, forget it. We just won't play it. Maybe we'll play it on Halloween for the Halloween event. And then we'll just wait until there's apparently there's going to be Thanksgiving content as well. And then there's Christmas content coming up, of course. So maybe we'll just hold off. We'll see. But let's see what happens Sunday night, okay? Then on Monday, yes, Doodly Dread, how you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. On Monday, it's up to you what I play. Because on Monday, you have a choice, either more Crash Bandicoot 4, or I could continue on with Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now, here's the thing. I had a lot of fun yesterday with Amnesia, even though basically I just covered the same exact gameplay that I did 7 years ago, because yes, it's true, it was September of 2013 when I tried out Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the very first time. It was over 7 years ago. And I actually finished the gameplay that I did 7 years ago, exactly where I finished on the stream yesterday. The pipe steam puzzle is where I basically stopped playing the game. Okay? And so, next time around when I play Amnesia, it's going to be all new content I've never seen before. I will have absolutely no idea how to do anything because I've never done it before. In addition to that, last night, I was talking with my wife about the plot of Amnesia. And I actually have a few interesting takes on the plot, because I don't know. I've never been spoiled. I've never played Amnesia before, so I've never been spoiled on the plot. And I actually have a few interesting takes on what actually might be happening in the game. Okay? And I'm excited to actually play it again. So if you want my honest opinion, excuse me, I would actually be more excited to play Amnesia again on Monday, because I want to get into new content and see the plot advance. The plot is actually interesting to me. This time around, I'm giving it a fair shake. You know, I actually played it in the dark yesterday. You guys asked me to play the game in the dark, so I did. And I really enjoyed it, and I want to do more of it. All right? But I am leaving it up to you guys to determine what you want to do. If you want me to play more Amnesia, I'll play that on Monday. Or if you want more Crash, I'll play more Crash. So it's up to you. What I don't do on Monday, I'm going to play on Wednesday when I get back from my time away anyway. So it doesn't really matter what I play. It's going to end up being, continued on Wednesday regardless, you see? So, think about it over the weekend. Think about it today with Crash, and think about, I don't know, for those of you who haven't seen the Amnesia yet, go watch it if you want to over on DSPGaming. And let me know what you think, and we'll figure out on Monday what the heck we're doing. All right? Monday night will be some more Fall Guys. Now, I'm going to be honest with you all right? I played Fall Guys Season 2 when it premiered earlier this week. I was excited for it. I was pumped for it because there's supposed to be all this new content. They did not really live up to the promise because there's only 2 new stages from what I see. There's one new stage that has these swinging pendulums and spike blocks that you have to platform across or whatever. And that one's pretty fun. And then there's another one where you have to push blocks and climb a wall like a rampart of a castle. And that one's pretty cool too. But outside of that, there's like nothing else new in the game. I'm shocked. I thought they would have added more. I mean, yeah, they remixed the theme song to have a medieval theme to it, but almost no one even has a medieval outfit yet. And there's really nothing else. I thought, gee, maybe they'll remix the stages with medieval theme. They'll make the game look different. It doesn't. It's the same exact stages. The only thing I noticed is that certain stages they did a color swap. Like Slime Climb is now orange instead of, I think it used to be like yellow or pink, or now it's orange. Wow. So Season 2, I don't know about that. I say it doesn't really feel like Season 2 to me at all. It feels more like they just patched the game to add a couple new stages, and that's it. That doesn't feel like a refreshed season to me at all. So I'm going to play it again on Monday night. And much like with Animal Crossing, if you guys like it and you want to see me keep doing it, then I would consider doing Fall Guys once a week. Okay? One session of Fall Guys a week moving forward. But if you're bored, then we don't have to do it. You know, it sucks because I really enjoyed Fall Guys over the course of the summer. And it seems like they really didn't put much effort into this at all. And I hate to say it, but I told you guys what would happen with this game. I said, it's really good for now, but if they don't constantly refresh it with new stages and content and updates, this game will get stale and is going to lose popularity in a huge way. So what happened? They were updating it a little bit here and there, and then a new game came out, Among Us. Not really, because it's not new. It's actually 2 years old. But somehow, you know, it became virally popular, the new virally popular indie-style game. And a lot of the steam of Fall Guys was completely lost, and now the momentum is kind of stalled. Like, I still see, when Fall Guys tweets, a ton of people are still kind of, like, you know, liking and retweeting their tweets. But I don't see as many people talking about it anymore. And I don't see as many people getting so excited about it anymore. You know, it was really hype during the summer because it was the free for PS Plus game in August. But now it seems like not as much discussion and not as much excitement around the game anymore. So it's up to you. We'll play Monday night together. See if you guys like it. See how much fun I have. And then determined by that, we'll figure out if I want to do it once a week moving forward, or let's just retire it for now until there's an update or something. Okay? Now, this coming week, it'll be a balance between the continuation and conclusion of Crash Bandicoot 4, which, as I said, I'm estimating 2 to 3 more streams to beat it. The continuation and conclusion of Amnesia. Now, from what people have said, Amnesia is about 8 to 9 hours long, and I'm about 3.5 hours in. So that probably means another 2 streams of Amnesia till I beat it. Okay? So 2 more streams of Crash after today and 2 more streams of Amnesia after today to wrap those playthroughs up. Fair enough? Now on Friday, it's the new release of, it's actually an expansion for Ghost of Tsushima. It's the new Legends mode, which includes 3 features. First of all, a new game plus for those who want to go back and replay the game with all their abilities. I guess it's a more challenging version. And in this case, there's a new charm where you can actually have friendship with dogs. How exciting. I know some people love animals and, they want to have friends. They felt bad about killing the dogs in the game. So this time around, you can befriend the dogs and they'll become you don't have to kill them. Okay? The second thing is that there is a 2-player co-op mode. And I think what it is it's 2 people online fighting enemies. So it's like a team of 2 people fighting waves of enemies. And then there's a 4v4 survival mode where it's 2 teams of 4 fighting each other. So it's kind of like PvE and PvP. Interesting. I'm curious to see what this is. I don't know if this is going to be anything that's going to have longevity. It might be something that I just sit down once on Friday, I play it, I'm like, okay, I know what it is, and I never do it again. Or it might actually be interesting. What I'm thinking of, I'm drawing parallels to Assassin's Creed's multiplayer. If you remember back in the day, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood added multiplayer, and it was Brotherhood and Revelations, and I think there might have been one more game that had it. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 games that had the multiplayer. And when it first came out, everyone wrote it off like it was going to be stupid. Everyone's like, nah, why are they even putting multiplayer in Assassin's Creed? This is kind of stupid. It's not needed. But admittedly, it was actually unique, and it was fun, and I had a lot of fun with it. Those sessions where I messed around with the multiplayer of Assassin's Creed were actually quite entertaining. And I'm curious if this is another situation where here's a single-player game that was outstanding on its own, but they're going to add on a multiplayer mode that might actually be, something different and might actually be fun. I don't know. I'm going to try it on Friday, and we're going to find out, all right? So that's cool that we got that in there for variety. So this week, the main gameplay streams, you can expect Crash 4 and Amnesia concluding, and me checking out the Legends mode of Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, that's the focus. Now, if we have extra time, yeah, I may throw something else in there. The night streams this week will be a variety of stuff. We're going to have the continuation of Batman, Arkham City, Riddler content. Last time around, we did a lot of progress, and I'm thinking 1 to 2 more night streams, and I might actually complete the Riddler content of Batman. Okay, so that's coming up. Like I said, if you guys are interested in seeing Fall Guys, I might play it again. If not, that's okay. We don't have to do it. Yes, Street Fighter will make a return. It'll be a weekly thing again until basically there's no time for it. But right now there is time for it. So Street Fighter will be again on Friday. And if we have time for it, all right, and seeing how things go, I might actually start playing Hollow Knight. Because that's a game I played during the Rageathon last month. I wanted to do a playthrough of it. And basically I got kind of mixed feedback. Some people were gung-ho for it. Yes, play Hollow Knight. It's an outstanding game. It's a great game. You're really going to love it. And then some other people were like, meh, it's a Metroidvania game. It's an indie game. You get that mixed reaction. Here you go. Perfect example. I'm looking at the stream chat right now, and we got 2 people who just put that sleepy face emo. What's it called? I don't even know what it's called. Resident Sleeper. All right? But then you got Pyro Mechanicus says, wow, Hollow Knight's amazing. See? So I keep getting that very mixed reaction every time I bring up Hollow Knight. Some people seem like really excited for me to play it, and others are like, I want to go to sleep. It's boring. And that's what I mean. Every time I try to play a Metroidvania game, this is the reaction I get. Right? Half the people get very excited for it, and then half the people say, I'm going to sleep. I'm not going to watch it. So I may start Hollow Knight this week. Okay? We'll see. Now, the only other major release coming out in the near future is next week, a week from this coming Tuesday. It's that expansion for Pokemon. And I will be doing that. I will be doing that expansion. Maybe it'll end up being a balance between that and Hollow Knight for like a week until real heavy new releases start coming out. As I said, the end of the month we got Watch Dogs Legion and Little Hope. And on top of that, my Halloween marathon's coming up on Halloween, which is a perfect transition. All right, perfect transition into that. Please, guys, continue to nominate games for the Halloween Marathon by typing !marathon into the stream chat. That brings up the link by which you can go to the forums and nominate games. Please nominate games that would fit a marathon format. That means don't nominate lengthy RPGs. Don't nominate games that are $30 to $60 in price tag, because I'm not dropping that much money for a marathon and a game that I may only play once ever. Okay? Think about it. Digestible games. Games that if I play them for an hour to an hour and a half, they would be entertaining. Yes, please do nominate horror-themed games, because those would obviously fit into a Halloween marathon likely better than other styles of game. Okay? Sound good? All right. In addition, please vote on the category of Halloween costume you would like me to wear on Halloween. I realize there's only about 3 weeks left until Halloween. In fact, as of today, there's exactly 3 weeks left until Halloween. Holy crap. That being said, I need to know your opinions on what you want me to wear for that event. So please keep voting on the category. Categories include comic book character, video game character, classic kind of horror character or monster, pop culture icon, including things like movie star, musician, or other content creator that's more popular than me, or wild card where you let me pick. And the last few years, I've done some pretty interesting picks, so let's see. We'll see what happens. All right, but yes, please keep voting. I'm going to use that as a guideline in the next couple of weeks as I go out to look for a Halloween costume on my days off. I use that as a guideline to figure out what I'm going to do. So please keep nominating, all right? Excuse me, not nominating. Keep voting is what I meant to say. All right? All right. And then, of course, November is going to be wild with all the number of new releases. But we'll talk about that when we get closer to November. All right? All right. So, a few quick things before we get to shout-outs. The first thing, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support recently. And in particular, those who were on the stream last night, the Street Fighter stream, thank you for the support with tips. This week is a tough week for me because I received, over the past week and a half, over $1,700 in chargebacks. And by the way, I stopped mentioning it, but I've been getting more. I've actually been getting even more behind the scenes. That's screwing me over. All right? Things right now are very financially tough for me because all those chargebacks emptied my PayPal account. My PayPal account are the funds that I use to pay my regular bills, you know? And, you know, I go out on Tuesday, I go grocery shopping, and I have, you know, appointments, I buy pet supplies. That's the money I use for it, and right now it's empty because of these assholes charging me back. So your tips over this weekend here are basically what's going to help me to afford things come Tuesday when I have my day off. And people last night were very generous. It was the first stream in 5 streams where we hit the tips goal. And I really do appreciate that. I appreciate that support, all right? So if you'd like to help me out today, you know, in the best way possible, please tip me. Now, I'm not saying other contribution methods like cheering or subbing aren't good. They are. They help me. But those things help me more long-term. And right now, I need short-term help because I don't get paid by Twitch until the middle of this month. So I got at least another 5 days to wait. But my day off is on Tuesday, which is before then. You see what I'm saying? So if you could tip me over this weekend to support the stream, I would definitely appreciate that. I would. Thank you very much to anyone who does. You know, exclamation point tip into the stream chat brings up the link. Yes, there has been changes to the way that you tip. Basically now you have to log in to do it, and that has eliminated all troll tips this week. Seriously, like I've gotten not a single troll tip this week because guess what? People have to actually give their information, you know, their identity information to tip me, which is apparently what every other streamer does, and I didn't know that. So I was getting tons of these fake tips every day and then getting charged back over the course of like months. Now I will avoid that. All right, so that's really good. Thank you for that. For those who are understanding. All right, I really do. I appreciate those who understand. You got to do a little extra work to tip me, but it helps me because I don't have to have this chargeback shit on the back end. So thank you in advance to anyone who tips today. I really appreciate it. Please, if you can help out the streams, please do. All right. Now, really, I don't have much to talk about gaming news-wise, but it was pretty funny. I didn't know about this, but about 3 days ago, the official Xbox Twitter account put out a tweet, and it was saying basically something like the motto to live by when you're playing FPS games is like, if you don't succeed, pick yourself up and die again. That's what they posted. So actually a spin on Aaliyah's song, dust yourself off and try again, right? So someone responded to that with a tweet, and they said, if at first you don't succeed, you know, blame it on lag, you know, scream at the game developers, say your controller's broken, you know, blame it on blame it on your relatives distracting you, you know, all this funny stuff. And then Xbox responded to that tweet and said, okay, DSP. Now, I didn't know they had done that. And I read it. Someone actually linked me to it this morning. And I actually laughed. I thought it was funny. I was like, that's hilarious. But here's the difference, because it's funny. Some people in the stream chat this morning were like, was Xbox slandering you? I'm like, no. No, they're not slandering me. All right? Here's the difference between slander and taking a very, very harmless jab at someone, you know. It's basically laughing with someone versus making fun of someone in a very harmful way. All those things, I basically say. Like, literally everything that guy said, and I don't think he was trying to reference me in his tweet to Xbox. I think he was just saying, in general, you know, gamers who make excuses. But I make all those excuses. That's kind of one of my running shticks over the years, is that I always kind of blame stuff on everything but me, right? Now, recently, if you haven't noticed, a little different, especially with Crash Bandicoot 4, I will actively tell you every time I die, I suck ass. Like, I'm so bad at these platformers, you know, I'm just dying constantly. And it's my fault. I suck. I'm rusty. I haven't played these in a million years, and I'm getting older. My reactions are getting slower. I suck, but it's funny to watch me play Crash 4 because I die so much, right? But outside of Crash 4, I pretty much every other game I blame on everything else, right? So that's kind of my thing. Everyone knows me. For 12 years I've been doing it. You would think people know me, and apparently whoever the person is running the Xbox social media account knows who I am and made this reference. It's a lighthearted joke. It's a silly jab. It's a harmless dunk. I thought it was actually really funny. So I actually tweeted it this morning. I didn't know this. It was 3 days ago when they had tweeted that. And I guess it had gotten like maybe a few hundred likes or whatever. I'm shocked no one told me about this earlier. Usually whenever someone mentions me on the internet, there's 1,000 people who tell me, oh my god, did you hear what this guy said about you? Phil, how do you respond to that? What do you think? Is there drama? Is there drama? Do you have beef? It's like, Jesus, just relax. You know, I'm 38 years old. I don't give two shits about this. Every day someone's out there saying something about me of various levels of just being silly versus, you know, actually malicious. And I don't really care. I laugh about it 9 times out of 10 unless it's actually something harmful to myself or my family. Why the fuck would I care what people say about me, right? I actually think this is funny. I do. I legitimately think this tweet was a good one. That was a good jab. That was a funny reference. And it's funny that people who run the official Xbox account even know who I am. You would think Phil's just a small-time streamer. Why would they know who I am? People know who I am because I've been around for 12 years. I've been involved with some of the biggest memes on the internet. People know who I am. You know? That's a good thing. Even if it's not for a good reason, having that kind of exposure is a good thing. See, right? So, I laugh at it. I think it's funny. Enjoy. I actually made it. Now I made a stream chat command for it. If you type Xbox, it'll bring up that tweet so you can see it. I think it's hilarious. I don't care if people dunk on me all day. If it's lighthearted, who gives a fuck, right? At least, you know, it wasn't something personally insulting. It wasn't personal business. It was public stuff that I put out on my streams every day that was referenced, and I think it's funny. So, there you go. All right. So, outside of that, I'm just trying to think, and I don't really think there's much else going on right now. Okay, there's one final thing I'll mention, because it's been a hot story over the last day. So I mentioned this the other day, alright? There's a particular games journalist who's been covering stories regarding, crunch in the games industry. I don't want to bring up his name, because I don't want people to think I'm saying anything in a negative light about the guy, because I'm not. I actually think that covering the games industry in this way is actually very important. But he did a story recently about CD Projekt Red, saying that, you know, it was about a week or two ago, that, you know, CD Projekt Red essentially said to everyone, we have a mandatory crunch in order to get Cyberpunk out in time in November. Everyone has to work an extra day a week, and, you know, it's sorry for this, but you just have to. We have to get it done. We can't delay the game again. And it's funny because a year ago, this very same games journalist interviewed the management of CD Projekt Red, and they publicly said, we will not do that. They publicly said, we will not force crunch on our people. We're a different kind of company. This is not going to happen during the development of Cyberpunk. And then here they are a year later, and they did it. Now, some people have made excuses for CD Projekt Red and said, well, this is because of the coronavirus. It set them back. And because of that, we have to make an exception. Okay? And others have said, yeah, but don't you understand that with Polish employment law, because it's a Polish company, CD Projekt Red, for those who don't know, it's different. In Poland, you actually have to get paid for overtime. You can only, I think there's certain employment laws, the way it works, and if you work a certain amount of hours, you have to get paid a required amount. If you don't, you could get into trouble with the law. You could actually, the company could get fined or people arrested for basically abusing their workforce. Okay? So some people are under the impression, they're like, this isn't bad at all. These people are getting paid a ridiculous amount of money now. And by the way, CD Projekt Red has this really cool thing. For those who don't know, they have this really good policy where the employees are supposed to make, I believe it's a 10% profit share. So if Cyberpunk ends up being one of the best-selling games of the year, which everyone speculates it's going to be, if not it will be the best-selling game of the year, these people are standing to make a ridiculous amount of money on this bonus program. Okay? So it's basically kind of a mix. Some people are like, well, yes, there's crunch, but you have to understand this is an extenuating circumstance. It wasn't planned that this would happen. It's because of the coronavirus. And these people are going to make a ridiculous amount of money. And so we shouldn't complain. But on the flip side of that, it doesn't matter what the money is. The people are now going to be overworked for months. The people are going to be worked to the bone. They're not going to be able to see their family members, who maybe they have families at home that they need to spend time with, kids and stuff. And now they can't because they're stuck at work 6 days a week, So you can see both sides of the situation. And this particular game's journalist covered the story in that way. I read it, and it was actually very fair, the way that he covered it. And basically, people, attacked this motherfucker. I don't know why I called him a motherfucker. They attacked this guy, being like, how dare you criticize CD Projekt Red? They're not like the other companies. And it just seems like this giant fanboyism happened in regards to CD Projekt Red, where they attacked the games journalist, basically saying, oh, he's just causing drama. He's stirring up drama where it doesn't exist. He's a hack. He's just one of these, he's kind of like an ambulance chaser, right? Look for the drama, create the drama so you get popularity for yourself. Excuse me. I'm not sure that's what happened here. My take on it, because I talked about this about 2 weeks ago. My take on it was as follows. CD Projekt Red promised the world, not just their employees, but the world, they promised they would not crunch for this game. Now it's a year later, and they're going back on their promise, and that's dishonest. I don't care what the circumstances are. When you make a promise, and you hold to it. If it means the game needs to be delayed again, delay it. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter if it comes out in November or March. It's going to sell just as well. People are so hyped for Cyberpunk at this point, right? Now, since this story hit, the game's already gone gold, all right? And it was funny, because the announcement went out that the game has gone gold, meaning the game's now in production, physically discs are being made and everything. And again, people made it all about this story about, oh, you see, the game gone gold. I bet that journalist now is fuming, and he's going to say that it's gone gold because of crunch and blah, blah. It's weird because, I've seen stories like this, okay, in the industry before. I've never seen this kind of, offense. People taking such offense that this guy covered the story and was honest about it. Instead of just kissing butt here, he was honest about the crunch at CD Projekt Red. And people are so incensed about this. And I'm like, why is it that this company gets a pass? If this were a story about EA, if this were a story about another company doing exactly the same thing, people would be so angry, right? They would be so angry. But now, for some reason, this is acceptable. I'm just so confused. I'm legitimately confused at why this reaction is happening. Okay, I am. Now, all that being said, okay, the reason I'm bringing this up is because 2 days ago, or it was 2 days ago or yesterday, I'm trying to remember, but basically what happened was, Game Informer, which is a games media outlet, all right, they're basically mostly owned by GameStop. I think they are completely owned by GameStop, actually. So they were doing a podcast. A bunch of the people were doing a podcast together. Okay? And as they're doing this podcast, they start bringing up this issue, CD Projekt Red and crunch and all of that. And on the podcast, all right, now I didn't hear the podcast. All I know is what was said about this on the internet. All right, apparently on this podcast, these people basically were talking and were like, well, just seems like this story is so ridiculous and blown out of proportion. Because we talked to people at CD Projekt Red, and every single person that we've spoken with seems to be under the impression that this crunch that is happening is not a bad thing. They're actually in support of the crunch. They like the crunch. They want the game to be as good as it can possibly be. And even though it sucks that, the management of the company promised it wouldn't happen, all right, it's okay. Essentially, it's okay. Everyone working at the company that we've spoken with is totally good with it. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I look at this, and I say, I don't know about that. Right? I don't know about that at all. And for me, it sounds like they were talking to people who were telling them what they wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? It sounds to me like they were actually doing this to try to almost like save face for the company. Because let's be honest here. Will there be people who will be very happy about, putting in more work to try to get this game better for release? Of course, there will always be people who will be happy about that. Okay? But at the very same time, there's going to be employees who aren't okay with it. And employees who are now feeling monstrous pressure, right? Because they now know that if they don't do this crunch that seems to be mandatory for this game, they could be seen in a bad light with their employer. Oh, you were the one. You were the stick in the mud who couldn't work the late hours. You were the guy who wasn't the team player and worked your ass off to make this game come out, right? And even though it may not be written in stone, it may not be a law, it may not be a rule at CD Projekt Red, it's true that in corporate situations like this, if everyone else is forced to do something and you don't do it, you could be seen as the odd man out. You could be seen as the stick in the mud. You could be seen as the bad one. Why is everyone else in line with it, but not this person? Why do they got to be the one what's trying to cause problems here? You could be the rabble rouser or whatever. Okay? So, it's great that Game Informer talked to certain people in CD Projekt Red, and apparently the people they know or talked with, okay, said, oh, we have no problem with the crunch. But then why do you go, that's fine. But why do you go on a podcast and essentially try to discredit the work of a journalist who apparently did a lot of work trying to put this story together and did due diligence, okay? It's not like they said, oh, we have evidence that this guy is illegitimate. They basically, in this podcast, tried to say, oh, we don't believe any of that nonsense because we have friends at CD Projekt Red and they're okay with it, right? So, what ended up happening was people now are citing this podcast all over the internet and saying, oh, you see, that journalist doesn't know what he's doing. That journalist is he's trying to cause drama. He didn't do his job. He didn't do research. See, here's the evidence. This is what the people at Game Informer said. So then this guy came out yesterday, and he's like, not that I feel like I should have to defend myself because I shouldn't. But, this podcast came out from Game Informer yesterday, and now everyone's basically attacking me and saying that, I lied or I was trying to cause drama or whatever. He's like, well, guess what? I interviewed nearly a dozen people at CD Projekt Red for that story. Most of the people who I interviewed were not happy about the crunch. And here's evidence. Here's an internal email that was given to me as part of the research for the article from June. This wasn't the recent email that came out. This email was from June. Okay? And in this email from June, it's the head of CD Projekt Red formally apologizing to his entire company. He's incredibly apologetic in this email, saying things like, I know this means now that you're not going to be able to spend time with your families like I promised you. And there's actually a line in the email where the head of CD Projekt Red directly apologizes to the partners of employees. Have you ever heard of this before? A CEO or head of a company writing an email saying, to the partners of the employees who are reading this email, I personally apologize to you because you're not going to be able to see your loved ones as much for the next few months. It's unheard of. This has never happened before. Okay? This has never happened before at all. All right? So he has, it's funny, this journalist who, basically everyone discredits, attacked for doing the story on CD Projekt Red, and then Game Informer basically sought to discredit, has receipts. And he brought the fucking receipts and posted them right there, and everyone's like, oh shit, well, now he looks stupid. We tried to basically say this guy didn't know what he was talking about, and here's the evidence right here, direct from the head of the company, that this was 100% what happened. He's not making it up. It's obvious the people in the company are upset, or else why would the head of the company written this email, right? So, damn, egg on the face there. And what's hilarious about this is that the people who were on that Game Informer podcast then tried to respond to this journalist's tweet. Oh, we weren't talking about you. Didn't you notice we didn't name you specifically a name during our podcast? We're talking about other people who took what you said and blew it out of proportion. Yeah, fucking right. Get the fuck out of here. Everyone knew exactly what they were talking about on the podcast. If that was the case, they should have directly called that out and said that's not what they were talking about. The point is, they were trying to diss this guy and discredit him without directly addressing his name, so they thought they wouldn't get into hot water for it. But what's the funniest part about it is, why did Game Informer do that? Why do you think they did that? Well, guess what? In the very email that the journalist released from the head of CD Projekt Red, it referenced that Game Informer was one of 2 different media outlets that was allowed into the studio and got advanced coverage and access of fucking Cyberpunk. So, the media outlet that's basically hand-selected to get advanced coverage of the game and has been promoting the game essentially for free all year is defending the game developer. What a shock, right? So, basically, it's kind of a whole, I hate to say it, it's a conspiracy thing. It really is. And I hate to say it because I actually like Game Informer. I've always liked their reviews and everything. But you've got to take everything you hear from game journalism with a grain of salt, all right? And you basically have to understand that 9 times out of 10 with games journalists, there's always a spin to it. I don't like that, obviously. I wish that they would just be honest, but there's always a spin. So in this case, someone took a hit on CD Projekt Red. They're our boys, right? They're the one, they invited us to the studio multiple times this year to cover their game in advance, and we got all the exclusive coverage, so we got to go defend them on our podcast and basically try to discredit this journalist that's saying that there's mandatory crunch and talking shit. So they do, and it completely blows up in their face and backfires within 24 hours because the games journalist actually brought receipts. They got fucked. It doesn't matter what they try to say. Oh, we weren't really talking about him. Get the fuck out of here. He was the #1 guy who broke the story. It's obvious that's who you were talking about. You can't now try to lie after the fact. We know what you were talking about, all right? So, it's an interesting story, for sure. I'm curious what's going to happen in the future, because this is like exposing the dark side of game development. It is. It's showing that it doesn't really matter who you work for. Even the company that claims to be the nicest company out there is still doing this practice of crunch. When the fuck will we just end it? When will we say crunch is stupid, crunch is fucked up, it's anti-employee, right? And when will we just end this nonsense? And of course people would argue, well, why aren't there unions, right? Why isn't there a union for game development? Fair enough. Why isn't there a union for game development, right? There probably should be. To defend these people from these things. So, it sucks that there really is no defense for this kind of stuff. The thing is, you can't force them to work the overtime, but if they don't work it, then they're going to be seen in a negative light by the company. Oh, you're not a team player. Everyone else busted their ass. Why couldn't you? Right? And this is almost mandatory across the board. Every major game developer does it. Why? When did it become standard practice to abuse your fucking employees? I don't get that at all. It's one thing if the employee actively chooses, I want to work overtime to make this game work, versus, no, you're just expected to work the overtime. Tough shit if you can't, right? That's stupid. I bust my ass here on the streams. You guys know I'm here 6 days a week. I don't like being here 6 days a week. I would like to have more time with my family, but I'm here 6 days a week. I choose to be here. I can't complain because I choose to be here 6 days a week. I wasn't dictated to by Twitch that I must stream 6 days a week full time. And if I don't, oh, now I'm in the blacklisted, right? So, I don't know. I don't like this. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. It's interesting how that story has developed over the past couple of weeks. And will there be another twist? By the time that Cyberpunk comes out, will there be another twist? Right? Now, the funny thing here about all this to me is we're all kind of expecting Cyberpunk to be Game of the Year, right? I mean, doesn't everyone just seem to be like saying this? Cyberpunk's just going to be Game of the Year, right? Everyone just seems to be like accepting. I'm of the opinion, now I could be wrong, and I'm actually hoping the game is as good as it possibly can be. I'm of the opinion this game will be good, but I don't know if it's going to be as good as people are expecting. And the reason I say that is, take a look at the history of Witcher. The first Witcher game is pretty rough around the edges. And what I mean by that is it's good, but it's not a very modern or refined game. In fact, it's kind of tough to play. You know, Witcher 2 added more modern things. But if you remember, when I played Witcher 2, I actually said when it first came out, right? I said, man, this game is tough to play. It's not user-friendly. So for someone like me who's never played a Witcher game, this game is actually really tough to play. And actually, that was the common reaction to the game. CD Projekt Red, over time, completely redesigned the game from the ground up and made it play like a more action-based RPG after people complained. And it was hilarious because when I played Witcher 2, people actually slammed me and said, how dare you criticize the game? Again, CD Projekt Red apparently is above criticism, right? So the fact that I criticized Witcher 2 and said that I felt that it was very hard to play for someone who's just jumping into it. Oh my God, how dare you? You're just a noob. You're an asshole. You're a piece of shit, you know, because I said that. But then CD Projekt Red acknowledged that and changed the game to make it easier to play, right? Witcher 3 feels completely different from Witcher 1 and 2. Like, Witcher 3 is so much more modernized than Witcher 2 was. It still has some cryptic things, like I said, with the combat. I still feel the combat is actually the worst part of Witcher 3. I think the world design, the writing, the questing, the graphics, the dialogue, and the story and everything are great. But the combat is, in my opinion, one of the weakest points of the game. But outside of that, like, I think Witcher 3 is one of the best RPGs ever made. I had so much fun taking my time, playing the game at my own pace, doing every piece of side content. But that was Witcher 3. You see what I'm saying? That was Witcher 3. It took them 3 games to perfect this formula. What the hell makes us think that just because they made Witcher so good, that this new game that's a first-person kind of shooter-based combat, yes, there's RPG elements, but it kind of feels like, I don't know, people are just like giving them so much credit for something they've never done before. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think maybe people have such high expectations for this game just because Witcher 3 was so good. But this is not Witcher. This is not Witcher 4. This is a totally new franchise, you know? I'm kind of going into Cyberpunk, I think, with lower expectations than most other people. Because I actually think that this is their first outing doing something different. And if the game is rough around the edges in certain ways, or maybe it's not fun in certain ways, or it's cumbersome in certain ways, I'll understand why. And I guarantee you Cyberpunk 2 or 3 will end up being much better outings, but this is their first shot. So I don't know why people are like so crazy hype over it. Like, I say just play it and enjoy it. And, you know, I get the feeling some people are going to be very disappointed. The game's going to come out, and they're going to be so disappointed because it's not going to be Witcher 3 level. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. All right? Like this is hilarious. Brady Twitch is actually resounding my sentiment right now. It says, it's good to have low expectations anyways, because if it's actually good, it'll blow your socks off. Exactly right. That is actually the approach I take these days to games. Because there's been so many giant AAA releases in the last 5-6 years. So hyped. So much marketing put into it. And then when the game comes out, it's very disappointing. All right? Very disappointing. All right? So, I go into these games with low expectations. And then if they're great, they actually blow me away. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't even know what it was. I'm not even kidding you guys. I didn't even see a single piece of Ghost of Tsushima gameplay at all before I played the game. And when I played the game, I was blown the fuck away at how good it was. So that's kind of how I'm approaching Cyberpunk. Okay. All right. Let us now get to shoutouts. All right. let's get to shoutouts. Gotta scroll down here. Okay, first of all, there was an overnight tip from Oscotron, who tipped me $2. And he says, hey, bro, I'm following you since Fallout 3. Back in the day in Eastern Europe, I couldn't afford games, so I enjoyed watching you play them. Thank you for being here. I also love the Amnesia playthrough, and I love the Myst one too, so please continue with them. Well, Myst, I finished, and I did tell you guys I enjoyed playing Myst so much that I would consider playing Riven. When? Probably no time soon. We're in the midst of the busy gaming season, but maybe when things slow down earlier next year, maybe I'll do a playthrough of Riven, okay? As for Amnesia, I definitely enjoyed playing it way more this time around than I did last time, 7 years ago. I'm immersed in the lore, and actually what I was saying earlier, I actually got distracted. I was having a conversation with my wife about the game last night, and I was telling her about the plot and everything, and we're intrigued because I have these theories about what the plot is and how it's gonna pan out. And I'm excited to play more. I'm like literally excited to play more Amnesia because I want to see where the plot goes. So, you know, I cannot wait to play more. I hope that it ends up being good. You know, I hope that it doesn't end up being a disappointment the further I get into it. But people have said that actually the second half of the game is better than the first. So, yeah, I'm very excited for more Amnesia. Whether I play it on Monday or Wednesday, whatever it is, that's good. I'm excited for it. AJ the DJ 747 gifted a sub to Habib Gaming. Congrats, Habib Gaming. Thank you, AJ the DJ, for the support of the channel. An anonymous gifter gifted a subscription to Though Heart and Mind. Congratulations, Though Heart and Mind. Thank you to the anonymous supporter. BattleDuck 9000 resubscribed for a whopping 43 months of support. Thank you for almost 4 years of support, BattleDuck. That is appreciated. Sinestro Hairline. Hilarious. Pretty much I have a Sinestro hairline. Tip me, actually, I wish my hairline was as even as Sinestro's, because mine isn't. Sinestro Hairline did a 100-bit cheer. He says, are you going to do the new Mortal Kombat DLC with John Rambo? No. I am very, very done with Mortal Kombat. The only reason that I went back to it earlier this year, was because it was a expansion with a new story. So I enjoyed playing through the new story, and I was like, well, what the hell? There's new characters. I'll give them a shot. But I am not going to be playing any further expansions. I'm not putting any more money into that game. I have zero interest in continuing with Mortal Kombat. Okay? Alright. Ninstar Rune cheered. Says, dress up as a coronavirus cell. Truly the scariest thing in recent memory. He's talking about what I should dress up for for Halloween. Well, there you go. Dress up as a coronavirus cell. That is terrifying, but no, I don't think I'd be able to play games as a coronavirus cell. I'm just saying. So that's probably not going to happen. Alright? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I received a $100 tip from BattleDuck 9000. And he says, if only we could hit the tips goal today. BattleDuck, thank you. Longtime supporter. And with this very generous contribution, just like that, we've hit the tips goal for today. Alright? And that means vest time. This is the second vest in a row now. We haven't had a vest for 5 streams. Then last night we hit it, and now we've hit it again. Thank you. Very, very much, BattleDuck, okay? So, I know we have some mods here today. We can get a poll going. Alright, now the only vest that is not eligible is the Platinum. We wore the Platinum last night for the Street Fighter stream. So, if you put up a poll for every vest color but the Platinum, so that would be beige, blue, red, gray, and camo, I'd appreciate that. We'll get that going, and we'll see what vest I'm wearing today. Alright? Oh! King Goku says, I already did a poll in Camo 1. Well, alright then. Camo vest today it is. I'll be wearing the camo vest. Sounds good. Snow Carl tipped me $1. He says, hey Phil, it's me again. Thinking about the stipulations regarding my unban. I'm not going into the detractor channel since I have so many impersonators that try to ruin and distort my reputation. How will I prove it's not me? Keep it up. Snow Carl, what? You have impersonators? For what reason would someone be impersonating you exactly? Anyway. Snow Carl, email me if you're interested in being unbanned. And I'll look into it. But I think you pissed me off so badly last time that every single time that you say to consider it, I bring up the chat logs, I look, and I get so angry, I tell you no. I'm probably going to tell you no again. I'm not gonna make two bones about it here. I'm probably going to fucking tell you no again. But email me and I'll look into it. Okay? A Foxy Senko did a 100-bit cheer and said, good afternoon. You should check out Phasmophobia for the marathon. It's only on Steam, but I'm willing to gift you the game if you're interested. All right, you're probably like the fourth or fifth person to bring this up. I need to know about this game. What is it? Is it a game that's like a modernized PC game? Because chances are, if it is, I probably cannot run it on my PC and capture it. It will not run well. My PC basically gets pushed to the limit when I'm playing a game and then try to capture and stream it. And usually the game ends up running choppy and running like shit. That's why I don't play PC games. It's very rare if I do. All right, for good reason. So if this were on any console, I'd say, great, this sounds like a good consideration. But if it's PC only, and if it's a modern game that has graphics that are, demanding for a modern game, I don't know, man. But I'll consider it. If you can send me some information or whatever, I consider it. Okay? Crash Bandicoot did 100-bit cheers says, don't refrain from buying an Xbox. Be a good sport about the whole thing and don't take it to heart like you always do. I haven't taken anything to heart. I told you, I thought this tweet was very funny, and I want an Xbox Series X. I absolutely want an Xbox Series X. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get one because I didn't get it on the pre-orders. So I may be, we may be talking the first half of 2020 before I can get my hands on one. But I definitely want one. Why would a joke like that's lighthearted and silly and very true to what I do on stream, why would I take that the wrong way? I don't. And anyone who says that I do is an asshole because they're lying. All right, then I received a $100 fake troll tip. Yes, this is true, guys. We have someone here who was impersonating No Couture. Now, if you don't know, No Couture is someone who has been tipping me recently. It's someone who used to tip me earlier this year. Okay? And they are very generous with their tips. And they've been tipping me basically in the afternoons the last few streams. Well, someone just tried to impersonate them. They used the name No Couture and tipped me $100, said, longtime supporter, love you, man, great streams. So then I went and checked. It's not them. It's a completely different account with no information. Basically, what this person did is they made an account called No Couture, but it's not the same person. I've told you guys, with these new tip system, the way it works is you need to have an account and you need to log into the account. The thing is, the account could be a Twitch account, it could be a YouTube account, it could be a PayPal account. So this guy, this is probably the same asshole, the same motherfucker who's been charging me back for the past couple of months. And he's been mad now the past few days because he hasn't been able to get a tip in because I'm catching him with this new system that I'm doing. So he says, I'm going to impersonate someone else that does tip, and I'm going to make an account with the same name just on a different platform, log in and act like I'm that person. The problem is, I'm not stupid. This person is a dumb fuck, and I caught him, and I've banned him. So I refunded the $100 fake tip, and I banned this motherfucker. So you can go fuck yourself, you stupid, criminal piece of human garbage. You can lick my shit. Don't ever come to my streams again. You're a piece of garbage, and I really, you think you're going to get to me. You are the dumbest motherfucker on this planet. You're not going to get to me. I know better than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm better looking than you, I bet. And I think I'm ugly. I'm probably better looking than you, and certainly I have more of a life than you. So go fuck yourself. Okay. Ninstar Rune cheered and said Nintendo gets the same pass that CD Projekt Red does. You know what? I kind of agree with you there, Ninstar Rune. I kind of agree there. Because Nintendo is the other company that no matter what they do, they always seem to be forgiven. It doesn't matter what mistreatment they do to fans. It doesn't matter that that across the board, the Joy-Cons for the Switch have Joy-Con drift and they're a faulty product. It doesn't matter what they do. They're like above reproach, right? I hate that shit. Stop being a mindless fanboy. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Be critical. Ask more from these companies. Ask for more. Ask for better things. Because here's the thing. When you just forgive them every time you give them a pass, they will never improve. If no one takes CD Projekt Red to task for crunch when they promised they wouldn't do it, right? If this whole situation didn't happen, then guess what? They'll never improve. They'll think it's okay to do that, to lie blatantly to the public, right? Same thing with Nintendo. If you don't hold Nintendo to task for their shortcomings, if there wasn't a class action lawsuit against Nintendo right now for Joy-Con drift, they would never acknowledge there was a problem, and they would never fix it. They just don't care. They took your money. Why the fuck would they care, right? But now they're getting sued for it, and now they're like, oh shit, maybe we actually have to do things better in the future. You have to do this. You have to hold them to task, or else you'll never see improvement. Being a fanboy that blatantly gives everyone a pass and just says, oh, everyone's above reproach, gets nowhere in life. Trust me on this one. This is a stupid mentality to have. You should think for yourself and hold them accountable for issues. All right? Just Frats did a 400-bit cheer. So here you go, Phil. Thank you very much, Just Frats. That's the biggest cheer of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. 400 bits, right? 400 bits. Good. Okay. Just Frats. Elon just cheers. You see a rumor that a guy doing your big 100K cheers has a stolen credit card. Elon just, you're an idiot. All right? The moment that I get any contribution, people say it's fake. They want to cause drama. There's zero evidence that anyone is a fake cheerer, a fake, anything here. And I'm not going to pay attention to your fucking nonsense. If you want to sit there in the conspiracy theory circles wearing your tinfoil hat, trying to think that every positive thing that happens around here is fake, you can do that. And you could sit there with yourself with the other bunch of fucking losers that do that. I've been checking every single day. All right? I've been checking every single day, and those cheers are still standing. They have not been removed, nothing. They're still good. So, fuck off. Crash Bandicoot did a 100-bit cheer. He says, did you hear? The Avengers servers are now struggling to work. So this is Avengers. The game came out a month ago. Because there's very few people actually playing the game anymore, leading to matchmaking issues. It's all over the news. Oh, really? So essentially what you're saying is, even though Avengers said it was supposed to be games as a service, right? It was supposed to be a game that's going to have a long-term following and all of that, right? What you're saying is, no one's playing it anymore. Everyone beat the story. Everyone maybe did some of the multiplayer stuff for a week or two, and people are bored with it. They stopped playing it. And now what you're saying is because they stopped playing it, no one can get a game in. So anyone who was late to the party, anyone who wasn't playing it actively as a new release, and they're playing it now, they can't even play the game. Oh, yeah? Wow. I mean, let's be honest here. That's not shocking. The game itself, the story is fun, but how many people are going to be doing the same repetitive? It's exactly as I said when I was playing it. I'll play the story, but I'm not going to sit here and do the same repetitive grinding style gameplay over and over for the sake of a few pieces of loot gear that you don't need because you've beaten the story, right? And it seems like that's what they were going for. They wanted to have it to be like an actual narrative experience, like a real full-fledged AAA retail game, but then they wanted to add on this games as a service, cooperative, grindy looter game as well. Like it has an identity crisis of what it wants to be. And I really didn't think that people were going to want to play it any longer than maybe a few extra sessions after beating the story, because there's nothing really to it there, right? And if anything, I guess my point's been proven, because I guess people are saying people aren't playing it anymore, right? Okay, then. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, that to me that sounds terrible, and here's why. We know that there's supposed to be tons of free DLCs for Avengers, right? We know this. Coming out, there's supposed to be Spider-Man added to the game, and they even said there's like a roadmap of content. Hawkeye is going to be added to the game, and there's going to be story-based content with those characters, plus additional new things to do with your friends co-op. If the game's dead and the servers don't work, what's the point? So that's not good. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if the game's going to completely die. The thing is, they've already made their money, right? They've already made their money. Ninstar Rune Charity says, well, that games journalist who covered the CD Projekt Red story is disreputable. He went on record saying people who liked the sorceress, a grown woman, in Dragon's Crown are pedophiles because she's an anime character. All right, first of all, Dragon's Crown. Isn't that like a 6 or 7 year old game? That game came out before I moved. So you're talking something that was said 7 years ago. Apparently now has to directly relate to the reputation of a guy covering things in games journalism in 2020. That's like saying the comment that I made that Kojima's a cocksucker or whatever 7-8 years ago still applies to today with what I do today. No, that's not true. Now, I don't even know if this guy, if this is true. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is exactly what he said. I don't know the context of that. Here's what I know. In the case of what we're talking about today, this guy apparently is reputable. He did do his research. He has multiple sources, and he has the receipts. So if you got an issue with that, you got problems, all right? You just basically are blindly defending. Oh, he said something stupid 7 years ago. Okay, so I did dumb shit too. Does that mean no one can ever watch my content and I'm always going to be wrong forever and no one should ever, you know what I mean? Like, enough is enough with this fucking nonsense. That's just an immature mentality, in my opinion. To say that so someone said something stupid 7 years ago, let's now hold them to it today. Right? Come on now. Wake up. Crash Bandicoot cheers. I am a major and Crash fan and efficient at the game, and I must admit this new one is super hard and frustrating at times. I had to stop playing it. It's the Dark Souls of platforming. I would say, this is the game that they meant to be. It's something for everyone. If you're someone who just likes Crash casually, and you just want to turbo through the game and just beat it, right? It'll have a lot of challenge, but you can do it. If you're someone who's a completionist, who in previous Crash games went and got every single item, this game has an insane amount of that, right? Especially with the fact that there's the harder versions of every single stage. And then if you are someone who wants challenge, you got it. This game is probably one of the hardest games ever made to complete 100% and get all the items in. So it's something to everyone. So, and you know what? That might be a great thing. Seriously, that might be a great thing. Because you don't just want a game that's one thing to one group of people. You want a game that's everything to everyone. And if anything, this, excuse me, may be the prime example of how to go about it. When you have a series that's gone for a long time and you want to bring it back, this might be the way to do it. Compare this to Kingdom Hearts 3, a game that was in development so long that when it came out, it didn't really satisfy anyone. People who were hardcore fans, people who were jumping in for the first time, like no one really was blown away by the game. We were all disappointed, right? This is kind of the opposite of that. This is a game that's working on all levels. So, Ninstar Rune Cherry says they've had 2,076 Cyberpunk games already to perfect the formula. Continuing on, Rob on Wheels tipped me $5 and said, finish the first batch of Amnesia. Fantastic work. Thank you, Rob. I really enjoyed it. So I hope that, you guys are liking it. And I can't wait to play more, as I said. Okay. Eternal Napalm cheered and said, since The Witcher dropped on Netflix in January, I've been replaying Witcher 3 a few hours every Sunday, and it's been really savoring my second run. I plan on playing the DLC for the first time, too. Is replaying Witcher 3 something you would like to do in the future? Maybe in the far future. The problem is with these lengthy RPGs. As you know, being a full-time streamer, all right, it's hard to get through them because they're so long. It took me 5 months to finally beat Fire Emblem. And Witcher 3 is kind of the same deal. It's not a new release, so it's not something I'm going to be able to play on a bunch of main streams because people are going to say, you already played this before. You see? So, it's tough. Just on the sheer length of the game and being able to hold interest that long. So, Crash Bandicoot cheered and said, with all these chargebacks, has it crossed your mind to go to the authorities? You have evidence and you said it's criminal. Why are you letting it slide? Because there's a difference between crime that's affecting us in person and hurting people and crime that's behind the scenes on the internet that basically... let me put it this way. All right? For every chargeback, does it hurt me? Yes. But from a standpoint of the law, the way that the law enforcement look at it is, well, there was a stolen credit card. The person whose credit card number was stolen disputed this charge with their company. The company disputed it with PayPal. Everyone acknowledged that it was fake, and therefore they get their money back. So even though there was a crime, because the credit card number was stolen, there was restitution and everything's fine. That's different than say, oh, someone robbed the bank and now all the money's gone forever. You see, there's a difference. The people are getting restitution through their companies. So it's very unlikely, all right, very unlikely that any law enforcement would go after someone like this because it's not a lingering crime. You see what I'm saying? If there was someone constantly getting robbed, constantly getting just held up, constantly, okay, we got to stop this. Versus, all right, these people are getting their money back. So in the eyes of law enforcement, they're like, well, let's see. We've got a worldwide pandemic. We got riots and protests in the streets. You know, we got all this shit going on in the real world. Are we really going to take time to try to track down some kid who probably lives in Albania and lives in his grandmother's basement and sits there buying, you know, stolen credit card numbers off the black market for pennies on the dollar and then fucking just fake charges to a streamer? You know, very different kind of perspective. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if this was something that was super duper serious or whatever and there was a million people being hurt, but it's not. That's the thing. I would guarantee you I could report all this to law enforcement. They'd be like, thanks for the info, and nothing would ever come of it. All right? In addition, I just don't have time. I'm sorry, you know, I'm a full-time streamer. I have a life outside of streaming. I don't have time every day. Well, here's another one. Here's another one. Open another case with law enforcement. What the fuck? How am I going to do that? Right? And the truth of the matter is, I know I'm not the person who's having the biggest problems here. There's people over there, are all around the world, right, who have this problem. All streamers usually have this as a common problem. So I'm not even the biggest person having the problem. There's going to be people bigger than me. So, you know, it would be one thing if we heard a story, oh my god, a big streamer who has chargebacks regularly got back at a chargebacker. And here's the story. Then I'd maybe be inspired to try to do something about it. But I just don't have the fucking time to sit here every day and say, all right, here's $1 chargeback, here's a $4 chargeback, here's a $20 chargeback, here's a $100 chargeback, and every day I gotta send it. You know? So, no. George Nikoloff, tip me $1. Bro, did you address the Xbox tweet? No. I'm so insulted by the Xbox tweet, I'm so butthurt, that I'm gonna pretend like it never happened. Every time that someone mentions it, I'm just gonna shadow ban them from the chat, and that's how I'm gonna handle it. Yep. Because my skin is so thin, I can't take a lighthearted joke. Ultimate Cloud 7 gifted a sub to Thrawn. Congratulations, Thrawn, and thank you, Ultimate Cloud 7. Appreciate that. Jay Hawkwood cheered and said, hello, Phil. Hope you and the family are good. We are. Thank you for asking, and thank you for the cheer. Ninstar Rune cheer says, did you look at Polish Frog and Mine emotes? No, I did not have time. I hope to over the weekend, but I have not had time. I've been busy. Wings Pulling Strings did a 250-bit cheer asking, when will you play Divinity Original Sin 2? As I've said many times, here's the roadmap. Tonight, I finish Fire Emblem. Thank God. Tonight, I finish it. Finally, it's over. Stick a fork in it. All right? The next RPG we're playing is in about a month. It's Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. So for 1 month, we'll have a break from RPGs. Finally. No RPGs in the mix. We'll get a little break from it. Okay? But then, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon is the next RPG. I'm very excited for this one. I actually saw some footage of it on Twitter. It looks hilarious. You have a break dancer in your party, and he kicks the living shit out of everyone with the dance kicks moves. There's a guy who's a musician. He plays a song and then swings the guitar and smashes it over your enemy's head. It looks good. It looks funny, and it looks like it's going to be very good. So I'm excited for this, okay? But yeah, that's next month. And then once Yakuza 7 is done, then we're going to start Divinity Original Sin 2. That's the roadmap for RPGs, all right? I've explained this many times. All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for those who have cheered this week so far. I mean, the week is still young. We still got 3 full streaming days. But thanks to those who have already contributed. Thank you to Wooback Baby, who's in 10th place. Golden Colts is in 9th place. Jay Hawkwood is in 8th place. Someone apparently has had their account purged from Twitch because it's a blank name who is actually tied with Jay Hawkwood, a tie for 7th. I don't know who this was, but someone's account has been purged from Twitch. So thanks to the Phantom Cheerer, who's tied with Jay Hawkwood for 7th place. That dude Roz is in 6th. Bubble Buddy is in 5th. Ninstar Rune is in 4th. Dr. Tony Huge is in 3rd place. Thorax the Impula came by last night with a ginormously generous cheer and is in 2nd place. And then, ahead in 1st place by a mere 296,000 bits. That's all. That's the only thing that's separating 1st from 2nd place. Big B Wolf. So thank you guys very much for your contributions this week. In addition, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions this week. We've got Alfred Aponte, Kubi Contract, Eddie Bot, Super Batcat, Kyle, Jalapeno Milk. They've all gifted a single sub to the channel. We got Alcoholic Mormon who gifted 2 subs. Cashmere Goat gifted 3 subscriptions. Django Pops gifted 5 subscriptions. And Diocletian with a whopping 10 subs this week. Thank you guys for the support. All right, I got to use the bathroom. Let's take a short break. When I come back, it's the continuation of Crash Bandicoot 4. Thanks, everyone. See you in just a couple minutes.